Yesterday, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was purchasing land. Okay, now this is a question that I've been getting asked a lot, and that is, how do I purchase land? Okay. So I get asked all the time about purchasing land, like people want to custom build their homes or they're looking for an investment property to build on. And there's just so many different misconceptions about purchasing land that I just want to make a quick video and just point out 5 key things that you should pay attention to when you're trying to purchase land. So the first thing that's really important to pay attention to is location, location. And we hear this a lot when we're talking about physical homes and where you should buy and where your value is going to increase in the future. But it's also really important for land, and not just because of where the value may be at in the future, but also because of zoning. So just because you see an open area or an open lot, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to build the structure that you're looking to build on that property. So you have to pay attention to the location. When you are working with a realtor or a developer, contractor, they should be able to look up what that piece of land is zoned as. So for instance, zoning R4, that's residential zoning. So that means that you can build up to 4 parcels of land on 1 acre. I'm not going to get too much into the different zoning codes and things like that, but R is for residential, and then they have commercial codes and all of that. But location is very important. So don't think that you're able to build whatever you want, wherever you want, because you will get denied. Okay, number 2 on the list is very important as well, and that is an easement. So an easement is either a right to cross over the land or a right to utilize the land in some type of way. And one of the things that we see most often is like a utility easement from the city. So sometimes, way back in the day, I don't know, it could have been like in the 70s or something, let's say Duke Energy said, we're building some underground lines and we want to use part of your land in order to bury these lines. Well, the owner at the time could have granted that access to Duke Energy, and now there's a utility easement on the land. That means that you cannot build over that portion of the land. You can't do anything about it. Like, they're not moving that. That's for good. So you may not have known that prior to purchasing the land unless you did a survey, or the realtor that you were working with did their research to make sure that these easements weren't in place. So make sure that you pay attention to that. Another common one are like water, sewer easements like that are important. Now, another easement could be just a right to cross over the land. I'm not going to get too much into that because it doesn't necessarily stop you from purchasing the land or using the land, but it's also something that you should pay attention to. Okay, the third thing that you want to pay attention to is restrictive covenants, or even in homeowners association, or even a homeowners association, HOA. So you might find a neighborhood that doesn't have an HOA and you're like, okay, cool, now I can build, exactly what type of house I want. No, because it still might have restrictive covenants that are within the deed itself, and they run with the land. That has nothing to do with the HOA. A restrictive covenant could be like, there's a minimum square foot to build. There's actually a lot of really racist restrictive covenants, but we're not going to get into that. But look at your deeds and see if they have some really prejudiced language in there, because they're still there. Like, there's so many deeds out there that they can't go back and change the rhetoric from years and years ago. So in a lot of cases, you'll still see that. But those don't apply. Obviously, you know, you can't restrict someone based on race, but there's definitely some setback restrictions. There's some different type of restrictions that you need to be aware of before you purchase the lot. So another question, or I guess this is number four. Number four. How do you purchase land? Like who funds it? Can you get a mortgage on land, or, you know, very important questions. So a lot of lenders actually do fund land too. So they'll fund your new construction deal, or they will fund the purchase of the land and the actual construction of the home, and it's called a new construction loan. Not all lenders do them. But you'll have to check with your individual lenders to see what their qualifications are and if you can be approved. But again, you want to make sure that you're working with a realtor who understands purchasing land, because they will let you know if there's any restrictions, or, you know, if this is an area that you can even build the home that you're looking for on. And then that's when you get with the lender and, you know, put two and two together and start the project off. So yes, you are able to use some traditional funding methods in order to purchase land. You just need to make sure that you have all of your information and your ducks in a row beforehand. The last question that I get also often is, how much does it cost, or how much do I need to purchase land? And that question depends on where you're looking to purchase at, because I'm sure what a lot of, you know, a quarter acre, let's say, that's actually a little bit larger than the average lot nowadays, but a quarter acre of land here in Charlotte, it's gonna be a totally different price than a quarter acre of land out in Salisbury. Actually, I can't even say Charlotte as a whole, because a quarter acre of land in NoDa is going to be totally different than a quarter acre of land in, I don't know, off of Albemarle or something like that. It just depends on the location. And what investors look at is how much home they're able to build on that land. And then they will determine like how much they're willing to pay for the space. So if you can only build a house that would probably sell for like $180,000, it doesn't make sense to spend $50,000 on a lot. Now, if you're able to build a home that is maybe $300,000, then spending $50,000 on a lot is nothing, because you know you're going to make that profit back on the back end. So another important reason why you need to have a realtor who is able to run those numbers for you and say, okay, here is what your investment would be in total, and this is what you could net if you have the opportunity to build this home on there, or multiple homes on there. So just a few key factors, a few key important things to consider when you are looking to purchase land. All right, so that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get you the video yesterday, but the reason why was because I actually have a lot for sale right now, and I was going through negotiations on it, and I just didn't have time. But that's all for you guys today. If you have any questions about purchasing land, or if you're interested in purchasing land, definitely let me know, hit me up, and we can go ahead and get started. Let's do it. Yes.